My name is Harry Green, and I'm foreign without the accent. I was born March 8th, 1999, in a small village in England called Stroud. I then lived there for the next 3 years with my parents and my brother. My parents eventually uprooted us in 2001, took us all the way across the world to Johnson County. I've now lived in Johnson County for the past 18 years, and will probably live here for the next 5 or longer. But back on the topic at hand. As I was walking around my recently unpacked apartment, I found this H&M bag and thought to myself, how could I connect to this H&M bag? So I asked my friend, where does H&M originate? He goes, isn't it American? And that's when I had an instant connection, a connection of assumption. The assumption that this brand is American and the assumption that I'm American. Assumptions aren't necessarily a bad thing. We do it on a daily basis to hold massive amounts of information, but it's important to keep an open mind because you never know if your assumption's correct. For example, although on the outside I seem American, my voice, maybe the way I dress, but I still feel very British because of the ideals I grew up with and being in a British home, traveling back and forth. And just like H&M, although you can find it in nearly every mall in America, it's still a Swedish brand. But assumptions can be correct, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. For example, bringing on to my first item, this is my driver's license. My driver's license is going to be my symbolic version of an American passport that's currently on its way in USPS. It should be arriving this week, which I'm thoroughly excited about because in July I became a US citizen, which is making me a dual citizen of the world. So now many people's assumptions are correct. I am now American. Although if you had asked me, a stranger asked me off the street, where are you from? I would still say I'm British and I'm from England. But on to my second item talking about assumptions. Most people would assume I am straight. Maybe these are a bit too tight, but typically people are shocked to find out I am gay. So my second item is a pride shirt. This I chose because being gay was a very hard thing to grow up with, differing from masculinity and femininity. Straight men are meant to be very masculine. You don't want to seem weak by being feminine. So I grew up kind of hiding any sort of feminine features about me, or qualities you could say. But it led me to eventually leave high school, trying to still hide who I was, and I decided to go backpacking in Europe alone. And when I was there, I met a man who told me assumptions are the basis by which you decide. Meaning, you decide on the assumptions if they are true or not. You know yourself the best. So you can't always, just because someone has an assumption about you doesn't mean it's real. And so people's assumptions may be that I might be feminine. It's up to me how I feel and who I am. On my third topic of this assumptions is going to be this little puppy collar. This is actually my first dog's collar. He was a pit bull. And just like all of us, I'm sure have had bad assumptions about us, pit bulls have terrible assumptions about them. These assumptions range from being killers, not safe around children, when my pit bull was the nicest dog I've ever met in my life. And so I chose to do pit bulls because although we can stick up for our assumptions, like the assumptions that we get made from other people about us, pit bulls can't stick up for themselves. I live currently here in Lenexa, and I can't take my pit bull to the vet without calling him a boxer or a boxer mix because they're outlawed in Lenexa. And so it's ridiculous that a breed of animal is banned in parts of the world or cities because of bad assumptions people made about them. And so just wrapping it all up is keep an open mind about assumptions, whether you believe they're right or wrong. Have an open mind going forward. Be reflexive when you listen and adopt a pit bull. Thank you.